In the grand theater of power, the tongue is often the greatest traitor. We are judged not just by our actions, but by the weight or lightness of our words. Law 4 of power is a difficult, counterintuitive, andate always say less than necessary. This principle is not about being mute. It is about strategic economy. We have an innate compulsion to speak, to fill the silence. This impulse is a vulnerability, a crack in our armor that others can and will exploit. The more you say, the more you risk saying something foolish. Every word is a gamble, and the odds are rarely in favor of the verbose. When you speak freely, you reveal your intentions, your desires, and your weaknesses. You hand your opponent the blueprint to your mind. Powerful people impress and intimidate by saying less. The less they say, the more mysterious and profound they appear to be. Consider the courtier. The one who chatters endlessly is seen as a fool, a jester. The one who watches and speaks rarely is seen as a threat. Words, once spoken, cannot be recalled. They are arrows loosed from a bow. You must be the master of that bow, not its impulsive servant. Nervousness breeds verbosity. We talk to cover our anxiety, but in doing so, we only broadcast it. Silence, in contrast, projects confidence. The person who cannot control their tongue cannot control themselves, and a person who cannot control themselves can never control others. If you are trying to impress someone, you might think more words are better. The opposite is true. The desire to impress reveals your neediness. The more you say, the more ordinary you appear. Power requires an aura of the extraordinary, something held in reserve, something unseen. Silence is a void. It makes people uncomfortable. They will rush to fill that void with their own words, revealing their own cards. Think of your words as a finite currency. Each one spent diminishes your potential wealth. Spend them wisely, on investments, not on trifles. When you are vague and say little, you force others to interpret. They will project their own anxieties and hopes onto your ambiguity. This gives you an incredible advantage. You can observe their interpretations and understand their deepest motivations without revealing your own. A reputation for silence is a powerful shield. People will be hesitant to probe you, fearing the unknown depths you seem to possess. Conversely, a reputation for chatter invites disrespect. People assume that what you say has little value because you offer it so freely. When you speak, you are giving information. When you listen, you are collecting it. In the game of power, information is the ultimate prize. Saying less than necessary is not just a defensive tactic. It is an offensive weapon. It unnerves your rivals and disarms your superiors. Look at the oracles of history. They never gave a clear answer. Their power lay in the enigmatic phrase, the ambiguous prophecy. This ambiguity forced the listener to do the work, to find the meaning. The oracle remained blameless, yet all-powerful. The human mind abhors a vacuum. Your clipped, short answers create a vacuum that others feel desperate to fill with their own theories. Let them theorize. Let them talk. You simply watch, listen, and learn. Their words are your intelligence. Your silence is your strength. This law is about control. Control of your impulses, control of the narrative, and ultimately, control of the people around you. The world is full of people who talk first and think later. By reversing this, by thinking first and speaking little, you set yourself apart. You create an impression of deliberation, as if every word you utter has been carefully weighed and measured for maximum impact. This makes your actual words, when you choose to speak them, land with immense force. They become events in themselves. A single, well-timed sentence from a silent person can have more impact than an hour-long speech from a garrulous one. The garrulous man is predictable. You know his opinions, his plans, his fears. He is an open book, and open books are easily torn apart. The silent man is a locked chest. What treasures or dangers does he hold? The mystery is more frightening than any known threat. We are drawn to the mysterious. We want to unlock the chest. This draws people to you, making them want to earn your words. This law is not about deception, but about conservation. Conserving your energy, your intentions, and your political capital. Every word you save is a piece of power you retain. Every word you spend needlessly is a piece of power you give away for free. Think of the strong, silent type archetype. It persists because it is rooted in a fundamental truth about human psychology. We associate silence with depth, seriousness, and control. We associate chatter with superficiality, nervousness, and a lack of control. To master this law, you must first master your own impatience, the urge to respond, to correct, to have the last word. This urge is your ego speaking. And in the game of power, the ego is a liability that must be tamed and disciplined. Train yourself to be comfortable with the pause. Let the silence stretch. Watch what happens when you refuse to be the first one to break it. The other person will become flustered. They will volunteer information. They will qualify their statements. They will negotiate against themselves. This is the passive power of silence. You win without fighting. You gain information without asking. You control without commanding. Louis XIV of France was a master of this. He would respond to requests or reports with a simple, unreadable "I shall see." This non-answer terrified his ministers. They would leave his presence, scrambling to figure out what he meant, what they had done wrong. They would re-examine their own proposals, find flaws, and work harder, all because the king refused to give them the comfort of a clear answer. His silence was a screen. Behind it, he could think, observe, and decide at his own pace, free from pressure. When you say less, you avoid the risk of committing to a position prematurely. You give yourself room to maneuver, to adapt. You also avoid the risk of offending. The more you say, the higher the probability that one of your words will be taken the wrong way. Sarcasm, ill-timed jokes, or casual opinions can create enemies you never intended to make. Silence makes no enemies. Power is, in many ways, like a game of poker. You would never show your hand to the other players. Your words are your hand. Keep your cards close to your chest. Maintain a poker face. Let your expression and your words be unreadable, neutral, and calm. This unreadability is a form of intimidation. People cannot gauge your reaction, so they cannot plan their next move effectively. They're playing blind, while you are watching their every move, their every tell, revealed in their nervous chatter. The desire for validation is a deep human need. We talk to prove we are smart, witty, or informed. This is a trap. True power does not seek validation. It is self. Your silence demonstrates that you are the arbiter of your own worth. You are not performing for others. You are observing. This shifts the power dynamic immediately. You become the audience, they the performer. In any negotiation, the person who speaks the most is usually the one who is least confident in their position. They are trying to sell. The person who speaks least appears confident, as if their position needs no defense. It simply is. This forces the other side to move. Saying less also protects you from the future. A promise made in haste today becomes a chain you must drag tomorrow. A strong opinion voiced today may be proven wrong by events. Silence allows you to remain flexible, to align with the winds of change. The world is noisy. Everyone is shouting to be heard. By being silent, you become the calm in the storm, the one point of stillness. This stillness is magnetic. It draws people in. They will see you as a source of stability, wisdom, and authority. You are not adding to the chaos. You are observing it from a position of detached control. This is the bedrock of strategic power. Mastering this law begins with small steps. In your next conversation, try to speak 20% less than you normally would. Focus on listening more intently, not just hearing the words, but understanding the emotions and intentions behind the words. You will be amazed at what you learn. You will see the patterns in people's speech that betray their hidden motives. You will also notice the effect your newfound brevity has on them. They will lean in. They will ask you questions. They will try to draw you out. Do not take the bait. Answer politely, but vaguely. Remain the master of the interaction. Your words should be like jewels, rare, valuable, and presented with care, not like common stones, scattered carelessly on the ground. When you do speak, make it count. Let your words be precise, impactful, and final. Do not dilute them with filler. The goal is not to be a wall, but a mirror that reflects the other person's energy back at them, forcing them to confront themselves. TC's a deep contemplative practice. It requires mindfulness. You must catch the impulse to speak before it becomes an action. Ask yourself, is this necessary? Does this add value? Does this serve my long-term goals? If the answer is no, stay silent. You will find that most of what we say is, in fact, unnecessary. It is social static, emotional filler, or ego-driven noise. By filtering this noise, you clarify your own mind. Silence is not just a tool for influencing others. It is a tool for knowing yourself. You begin to distinguish between your thoughts and your impulses. You gain a level of self-mastery that is the foundation of all true power. The world will test you. People will find your silence challenging. They will call you cold, distant, or arrogant. Do not be moved. This is a sign that the law is working. Their discomfort is a testament to the power of the void you have created. You are not responsible for their emotional reaction. You are responsible for your own strategic discipline. Let them fill the void. The powerful do not explain. They do not justify, they act, and they speak only when it is strategically essential to do so. Embrace the mystery. Let people wonder what you are thinking. Their imagination will do more to build your aura than any words you could say. This is the paradox of law, for the less you say, the more you are heard. The less you reveal, the more powerful you become. The power of silence is not passive. It is an active strategic choice. It is a weapon disguised as an absence, a shield forged from air. When you speak less, your words, by their very scarcity, acquire weight. Each utterance lands with the force of a pronouncement. People are not accustomed to economy of language. They are used to a constant barrage of noise, where words are cheap and plentiful. Your brevity disrupts this expectation. It forces them to stop and listen, to parse every syllable for its hidden meaning. This is how you create an aura of profundity. Even simple statements, when delivered from a place of silence, can seem deeply wise. Andy Warhol understood this perfectly. His short, ambiguous answers like, yes, or no, frustrated and fascinated the media. They tried to decode him, writing thousands of words about his intentions. He controlled the entire narrative by saying almost nothing. This is the power of the human imagination. When you give people a blank slate, they will fill it with their own elaborate designs. They will project their own intelligence, their own fears, or their own awe onto you. You become a screen for their own psyche. This is infinitely more effective than trying to tell them who you are. Let them decide you are brilliant, calculating, or profound. Silence is also a tool of intimidation. In a confrontation, the first person to break the silence is often the first to concede. An unanswered question hangs in the air, heavy and uncomfortable. It creates a psychological pressure that most people cannot bear. They will break. They will rephrase. They will offer concessions. They will reveal their negotiating limits, all to escape the pressure. You, in contrast, remain calm. Your silence communicates that you have all the time in the world, that you are not in need, that you hold the cards. This is how you make others come to you. Your silence is a magnetic force, a quiet gravity that pulls others into your orbit. They will seek your approval, your opinion, your reaction. Your withholding of that reaction becomes a source of immense power. The more you withhold, the more they will try to please you, to provoke a response, to get any kind-off feedback at all. This puts you in the position of the judge. You become the one who grants or withholds validation, a powerful position to hold. Think of the Sphinx. Its power comes from its riddle and its eternal, unreadable silence. It has watched empires rise and fall, saying nothing. By emulating this, you tap into an archetypal power. You become a figure of mystery, someone who knows more than they are willing to share. This is also a critical defensive tool. If you say little, you give your enemies no target. You offer no information to be used against you. You cannot be misquoted if you do not speak. You cannot have your words twisted if you offer none. You cannot reveal a secret you never voice. Many a promising career has been destroyed by a single, careless remark, a stray opinion, an off-the-cuff joke, a moment of The silent person avoids these traps entirely. They build a fortress of reticence. They are unassailable, unreadable, and unpredictable. This unpredictability is a weapon in itself. No one knows how you will react, so they must tread carefully around you. They'll be more cautious, more respectful. They are forced to assume you are always thinking, always planning, always one step ahead. Whether this is true or not is irrelevant. The perception of it is what grants you power. Your silence is your reputation. It makes you appear more in control than you may actually be. When chaos erupts, the person who remains calm and silent is seen as the leader. While others are panicking and shouting, your stillness is a beacon. It signals stability, judgment, and a mind that is not easily rattled. People will naturally gravitate towards this perceived strength. They will look to you for answers, which you will provide with careful brevity. This law also helps you to read others. When you are busy talking, you are not listening. You are focused on your own performance. When you are silent, your entire focus shifts outward. You become an observer. You notice the flickers of emotion, the tells, the hesitations. You hear what is not said. You perceive the subtext, the true meaning beneath the surface-level chatter. This is invaluable intelligence. People are remarkably unguarded. They will tell you everything you need to know if you simply create the space for them to do so. Your silence is that space. It is an invitation. It says, I am listening. Continue. And they almost always will. They will confess their weaknesses, their plans, their anxieties, all in an attempt to connect with you or fill the void you've created. This allows you to build a mental map of the social landscape, to understand the true dynamics of power in your environment. You become a storehouse of secrets, a quiet center of influence. People will come to you because they feel you truly listen, but they will also fear you because they are never quite sure what you are thinking or what you know. This combination of trust and fear is power. You must be careful not to appear cold or disinterested. Your silence should be active, engaged. Use body language. A nod, a focused gaze, a carefully timed I see. This shows you are engaged, but still invites them to say more. You are not a brick wall. You are a deep well. People are curious about your depths and will keep dropping pebbles in to see how far they go. The power of saying less is that it makes you a permanent enigma. And as long as you are an enigma, you are in control. People can't attack what they don't understand. They can't preempt a move. They can't predict. You are a ghost in their machine. This law is about playing the long game. The immediate satisfaction of a witty comeback or a cutting remark is a fool's prize. That temporary ego boost is paid for with a loss of strategic advantage. You have revealed your emotional state, your triggers. The silent master feels the same impulse, but resists it. They smile, say nothing, and file the information away for later. Their victory is not in the moment. Their victory is in the war, in the final outcome, which they control by controlling their tongue. This discipline is rare. Most people live in a state of reaction. They are puppets dancing on the strings of their own impulses. By cutting those strings, you cease to be a puppet. You become the puppeteer. You observe the dance from above, detached and in command. Your words become a form of currency. When you spend them, they have immense value. People will save them, analyze them, and remember them. This is the definition of influence. Not the volume of your speech, but the impact of it. Scarcity creates value. Make your words scarce. Make them valuable. Make them a deliberate choice, not an accidental spill. The more you practice this, the more natural it becomes. You will begin to enjoy the feeling of power that comes from restraint. You will find a new kind of confidence, one that doesn't need to announce itself. It is simply present in your quiet demeanor. You will see the world differently. You will see the noise and chatter for what it is. A sign of powerlessness, a desperate plea to be noticed. And you, in your silence, will be the one who is truly seen. The one who is truly heard, the one who truly holds the power. This is the art of the unsaid. It is the language of kings, spies, and gods. It is the language of true, enduring power. It is a subtle art, one that requires constant vigilance and self-control. But the rewards are immeasurable. You become impenetrable, mysterious, and profound. You become a person of substance, whose silence speaks louder than anyone else's words. This is the ultimate expression of control. Not controlling others, but controlling yourself so completely that others inevitably follow. Your silence is a statement. It says, I am in command of myself, therefore, I am capable of commanding you. It is a profound and unsettling truth. The less you say, the more you are. The less you reveal, the more you have. This is the core of Law 4. A timeless principle that separates the amateur from the master, the pawn from the king. Embrace the economy of language. Master the power of the void, and watch as the world rearranges itself around your silence. To practice this law, you must first unlearn a lifetime of conditioning. We are taught that participation means speaking, that silence is dissent. This is the logic of the classroom, not the court. In the world of power, silence is participation. It is a strategic move. The first step is to become aware of your own verbal habits. How often do you speak just to fill a pause? How often do you volunteer information? You must become a warden of your own mouth. Before you speak, pass the words through 3 gates. Is it true? Is it kind? Is it necessary for Law 4? We modify this. Is it true? Is it necessary? And most importantly, is it strategically wise? If the answer is not a clear yes, then silence is your default. Bite your tongue. It is a literal and metaphorical act of self-control. Practice the art of the ambiguous answer. When asked a direct question, especially one designed to probe you, do not give a direct reply. Respond with a generality. That's an interesting question. Or, I'd have to think more about that. Or, the situation is complex. These phrases are polite. They are not lies, but they give away nothing. They are a polite wall that the questioner has run into. You can also turn the question back on the speaker. What are your own thoughts on the matter? People love to talk about themselves. They will often be so pleased to share their own opinion that they will forget they ever asked you for yours. You have gathered information, revealed nothing, and controlled the flow of the conversation. This is a perfect execution of the law. Use silence in negotiations. State your price or your terms clearly and simply. Then, stop talking. Do not justify your price. Do not explain your reasoning. Do not fill the silence. Let your statements sit in the room. The other party will feel an immense pressure to respond. They will hear your silence as confidence, as inflexibility. They will be the one to start fidgeting, to start talking, and often to start offering concessions just to get a response from you. The person who speaks first after the offer is made is the one who loses. Let your silence be your negotiating partner. Another technique is the minimal response. Use yes, no, perhaps, or I see. Deliver them calmly, without emotional inflection. This starves your conversational partner of feedback. They cannot gauge your reaction, so they cannot adapt their strategy. They will become frustrated. They may even become angry. This is good. An emotional opponent is a weak opponent. They are revealing their state of mind, their desperation. You are revealing nothing. You remain a calm, unreadable enigma. In meetings, do not be the first to speak. Observe. Listen to the different arguments being made. Watch the alliances form and break. When you do speak, do so late in the discussion. By then, you will have a full map of the terrain. You will have heard all the arguments. You can then deliver a short, incisive comment that addresses the core of the issue. Because you have been silent, your words will carry the weight of careful deliberation. You will seem wiser than those who spoke first. You are summarizing and redirecting the conversation, not just adding to the noise. This is how you take control of a group. Be wary of the impulse to gossip. Gossip is the lowest form of communication, a desperate attempt to gain status by sharing secrets. The powerful do not gossip. They listen to it. They let others bring them information, but they never participate in the exchange. By refusing to gossip, you signal that you are trustworthy, disciplined, and above the petty squabbles of the court. This makes you a magnet for real information, as people will know their secrets are safe with you, but you share nothing in return. You must also learn to control your physical tells. Your silence must be matched by a calm, controlled demeanor. Do not fidget. Do not look away. Maintain steady, relaxed eye contact. Your body must communicate the same message as your words. Control. This is not about being cold. You can be warm, you can smile, but your smile should be a choice, a tool, not an automatic, nervous reaction. This law is particularly important in the age of digital communication. Every email, every text, every post is a permanent record. The impulse is to respond immediately, to dash off a quick reply. Resist this. The digital world rewards speed, but power rewards deliberation. Take your time. A pause before responding to an email gives your words more weight. It implies you have other, more important things to do. Write shorter, more precise emails. Cut out the filler, the apologies, the emotional language. Be polite, but be economical. Never, ever respond to an email or text when you are angry. The silence of a non-response is a far more powerful message. It leaves the other person to wonder, to worry, to stew in their own actions. You can respond later when you are calm and strategic. The power of saying less is that it forces you to think more. You cannot rely on a flood of words to make your point. You must choose your words with the precision of a surgeon. Each one must have a purpose. This clarifies your own thinking. You stop being a reactor and become a strategist. You are no longer a slave to the conversation. You are its master. This requires energy and discipline. It is far easier to be verbose. It is a daily practice, a mental muscle you must build. Start in low-stakes situations, with a cashier, at a party, in a casual meeting. Practice being the listener. Practice letting the silence stretch. Get comfortable with the feeling of it. See it as your ally, not your enemy. As you build this muscle, you can apply it in higher stakes situations. In a salary negotiation, in a major disagreement, you will be astonished at how the dynamic shifts. The power flows to the one who is least desperate to speak. Be careful not to take it to an extreme where you are seen as strange or unresponsive. The key is less than necessary, not nothing. Your silence must be strategic, not antisocial. It must be a deliberate choice that makes people curious, not a habit that makes them avoid you. It is a dance. You reveal a little, 10 pull back. You invite them in with your attention, but keep them at bay with your brevity. This tension between presence and mystery is the heart of charisma. You are fully there, yet completely unknowable. This is what makes people obsessed. They cannot categorize you. They cannot predict you. And so, they cannot control you. Instead, you control them. You control their perceptions, their reactions, and the pace of the entire relationship. This law is a profound shift in orientation, from an outward focus on expression to an inward focus on intention. You are no longer trying to be heard. You are trying to achieve, and you recognize that these two things are often at odds. The world is a stage, and most people are actors reading a script they didn't write, desperate for applause. You must become the director. Silent, watchful, in the back of the theater. Your silence is what allows you to see the whole play. And when you do speak, it is not as an actor, but as the one in charge. Your few words change the entire scene. This is the power you are cultivating. The power of the director. The power of the master. The power of the one who says less. Every word you save is a seed of future power. Plant them in silence and watch your influence grow in the shadows. Do not be seduced by the temporary high of the last word. Seek the permanent power of the last thought, the thought you keep to yourself, the intention you never reveal, the plan that unfolds perfectly, shrouded in your disciplined silence. This is the path of the strategist. It is a lonely path, but it is the only one that leads to true, sustainable power. Your words are a finite resource. Guard them, invest them, and never, ever waste them. Waste them on the unnecessary. The strategic implications of law for ripple outward, touching every other aspect of power. It is a foundational law. When you say less, you automatically appear more profound than you are. People mistake your silence for a mind deep in thought. They will credit you with wisdom and insight that you may not even possess. Your blank canvas allows them to paint you as a genius. This aura of intelligence is a powerful tool. People will be less likely to challenge you, assuming you know something they don't. This law is the ultimate defense against detection. Spies are trained to listen, not to talk. They know a single loose word can be fatal. In your own life, you are guarding your mission, your long-term goals. Every word you speak is a potential leak of that mission. Besides this, you keep your rivals in the dark. They cannot counter a plan they do not know exists. They will be busy reacting to the noise of your competitors, while you move silently, deliberately, toward your objective. This connects directly to Law 3. Conceal your intentions. The primary way we reveal our intentions is through our words. Mastering your tongue is the first and most critical step to mastering your intentions. Silence is the cloak that hides your purpose. When your actions finally come, they will be a complete surprise. Your rivals will be stunned, unable to mount a defense in time. This is how you achieve a fait accompli, a thing already done. Your victory is secured before the battle has even begun. Saying less also enhances your ability to play the courtier. The perfect courtier is a master of indirect communication. He speaks in ambiguities, in compliments that conceal a barb, or in questions that probe for weakness. He never makes a clear statement. This protects him. He can never be pinned down. He has plausible deniability. His silence and vagueness are his armor. By adopting this, you avoid the traps of court politics. You do not take sides. You do not make enemies. You are a mystery. This mystery is magnetic. It draws people in. It is the heart of seduction. The silent, brooding figure is a classic archetype of desire. This applies beyond romance. In any social setting, the one who is reserved and watchful holds a certain gravitational pull. We want to know what they are thinking. We want to be the one to unlock them. This gives you immense social power and choice. This law is also a shield against law 18. Do not build fortresses to protect yourself. Your silence is your fortress. It is an invisible, mobile fortress that you carry with you. It needs no walls, no guards. It is your own disciplined mind. It isolates you from the foolishness and traps of others, while still allowing you to move freely among them. Consider the inverse. The person who talks constantly. They are desperate for connection, for validation. They are needy. This neediness is a repellent. It signals weakness. It makes them an easy target for manipulation. You can control them by withholding validation. The silent person signals the opposite. Self-sufficiency. I do not need your approval. I do not need your validation. I am complete. This self-sufficiency is the ultimate aphrodisiac of power. It makes others want to earn your attention. When you do speak, your words have the power to create reality. Because they are rare, they are treated as significant. A rare word of praise from you will be valued more than 1,000 compliments from another. A rare criticism will be crushing. This gives you a powerful tool for motivating and controlling others. You can manipulate their behavior through the careful giving or withholding of words. This is a godlike power. You are the arbiter of their reality, the source of the validation they crave. This law also protects you from your own emotions. In a moment of anger, the urge is to lash out, to vent, to scream. This is a complete loss of control. You have shown your hand. You have revealed your triggers. You have made yourself a puppet. The master of law forefeels the anger but remains silent. They let the emotion pass. They do not act or speak from a place of passion. They act later from a place of cold, strategic calculation. Their revenge, if it comes, will be far more effective and devastating. Silence is the space between stimulus and response. By widening that space, you reclaim your freedom, your agency. You are no longer a reactive creature. You are a conscious, deliberate actor. This is the definition of personal power. The long-term effect of this practice is a reputation for immense stability. You are the rock in the turbulent sea. People will bring you their problems. They will confess their secrets. They will seek your counsel. You become a gray eminence. You are the power behind the throne. You are the one who truly knows what is going on, the one who pulls the strings, all from a position of quiet. You do not need the title. You do not need the spotlight. The spotlight is a target. You prefer the shadows, where the real power lies. This is not a path for the faint of heart. It requires a level of self-mastery that most people are unwilling or unable to cultivate. It can be lonely. You will be misunderstood. You will be separate from the chattering crowd. But this separation is the source of your strength. You are the shepherd, not the sheep. The sheep are noisy, moving in a thoughtless herd. The shepherd is silent, watchful, guiding. Your silence is your shepherd's crook. You guide the herd with a nudge here, a quiet presence there. Ultimately, Lofor is about the conservation of energy. Words are energy. Emotional outbursts are energy. The powerful person is a miser with their energy. They conserve it. They build it up. They store Italiano. And when they choose to expend it, they do so in a single, focused, devastating burst. A single action. A single word. This makes them infinitely more effective than the person who is constantly leaking energy through their mouth. So, begin your practice today. Listen more than you speak. Measure every word. Find comfort in the pause. Let your silence grow. Let it become your shield, your weapon, and your crown. Let others drown in their own verbosity. You will float above them on the strength of your restraint. The world is a noisy, chaotic place. Be the center of stillness. Be the voice that matters, precisely because it is so rarely used. This is the path to power. It is not loud. It is not flashy. It is deep. It is quiet. And it is absolute. Always say less than necessary.